email has just become it's like a spam box.
I know, it's wild.
What are we getting spammed by?
Do you use it to like sign up for like online sketchy online things?
No. We get like this email like that is so deeply like fake. The subject line is dining advantage gift card.
Oh, can you forward that to me?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good advantage.
Welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Hannah. It sounded like you said ridiculously excited grown-up. Singular.
Yeah. Your job, listener, will be to figure out which grown-up I was talking about.
Maybe it's Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hello. It also might not be one of us three.
It might be a listener.
Yeah, maybe it's you.
Oh, maybe it's you.
You'll have to find out.
We're for you, the ridiculously excited grown-up. Who's ridiculously excited because you're listening to this.
Yeah, how's everybody's week going?
Long.
So it's a long week Wednesday edition of WayTooBroad.
Is that a Mad Lib?
I wrote 20 pages of thesis yesterday.
Holy fuck. Aren't you supposed to only have 30 minutes of thesis?
That's for the presentation, and then there's the written thing, which can be as long as I damn well please.
Nice!
Yeah, but how big are your margins?
I think they're like an inch. I don't know, they're standard.
It's not the size of the margins, Hannah. It's how you use it. So, do you feel like it was a productive 20 pages? How much? 23 pages?
Yeah,
What did you say?
20. It was definitely productive.
23.
I had a very productive
Nice.
writing day yesterday. Not
Awesome.
as productive today, though.
Congratulations.
But that's okay.
That's alright. It comes in waves,
I
like
wrote
electricity.
one of 5 chapters yesterday.
Wow. Grad school seems like a real drag.
It's
be
a
honest.
slog.
Yeah, I just don't envy you, but I'm proud of you. So,
Oh, did I pass my background check for Harvard? So I got my
awesome.
official, final offer letter thing.
Cool.
Yay.
Well,
No
you're welcome for
contingencies.
making that one thing disappear, so
Thank you.
don't mention it.
Erin's my
And
fixer.
for getting you that job and for getting you into grad school.
Yeah, I called a little somebody I know at Harvard, the dean, and just
Whose name
put in
is?
Dean Martin. And
I'm sorry.
put in
Is
a
the
li-
deans? Are they Dean Martin?
yes, yes, they
Ben,
are.
you should know.
They're
You
named
should know
after
better.
the
Yeah, sorry.
great grandfather,
Bean Martin.
Harvard Martin.
Harvard Martin.
Anyway, what am I drinking?
What are you drinking? Thank you for
What
saying
the
that.
hell are you drinking?
I'm drinking a seltzer, homemade seltzer. It's not going to be very fizzy at all because I'm halfway done with it.
Wow,
Nothing.
just pitiful.
Just like whacked it into the mic to distract.
Just to try to give it some kind of oomph. Yeah, it didn't.
I feel like you need to make it full and fresh. It's got to be fresh and it's got to be full for the maximum effect.
I swear to you, in the morning, I'll make the seltzer right before I leave the house, and I'll bring the bottle with me to work. And I don't usually open it at all in the car. It's really about how fresh is it, and then how long does it sit?
Mm-hmm.
Because the gas will all kind of like gather up, and then when I open it, it's like I'm opening a fucking cryogenically sealed like heart.
Yep.
Sure.
It's a fresh bottle of heart.
Cryogenically
woo!
sealed heart.
That's as fresh as a heart. in a bottle.
A nice cold heart.
Yeah, like when they're bringing it to
Boil.
a heart transplant
patient.
But transplant.
Sure. They're like, wait, this isn't a cryogenically sealed heart. This is a bottle of seltzer. Oh, no. Who has the heart?
Yeah. Me. So, Ian is, I think, making me something else, but I don't have it yet.
Oh, cool.
So, Erin, what are you drinking?
I have a ice water. That's a Ben Brown special. And a Nicola La Cola.
From the same batches.
Same batch.
Months ago.
Months and months ago. I'm kind of working my way through them. Like, I'll get in the mood for one. Or I'll get in the mood to tolerate one. It's a little more precise. So that was tonight. Tonight was the lucky night.
Nice.
What are you drinking, Ben?
2 cups of water, no ice, because I don't have it.
Oh, jeez. I feel like you're in hell.
A little bit.
You're like living alone without your cats and your lady love. You're writing 23 pages. I'm making up 3 of these pages. I don't know why. You're writing 23 pages. You're like, your knee is like stupid.
Yeah. My idiot too tall band.
Your idiot too tall band. I feel like you're in like a little bit of purgatory is all. Like it's gonna pass and you're gonna go to a better place, but it's just like a little bit of purgatory.
Definitely feels like purgatory right now.
Yeah.
But, it'll be done soon. Yeah. Also, so I have to take one more class also this quarter, in addition to doing my thesis. And the class I'm really enjoying. I really like the professor a lot, and it's very interesting. So, that's a good thing.
That's good. Will you keep leaning away from the microphone while you're recording a podcast? That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Well, listen.
Who? Ben.
Ben
he's like, one fine thing about it.
It's because when I'm trying to turn myself up, but my computer's so far away, I have to like.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag you.
It's fine.
I didn't mean to put you on blast.
I've been put on blast.
I thought you said, I didn't mean to pee on glass.
No, I did mean to do that.
My second drink has arrived on a plate with some pomegranate seeds.
Wow.
From producer Ian. Contained in this drink is pomegranate juice, lime juice, and cachaça.
What's cachaça?
Brazil.
It's a Brazilian spirit that we have in the house.
What's it taste like?
We had a whole episode about this.
I've had it before.
It tastes like grass.
We had a whole episode about one Brazilian spirit.
It tastes like grass.
Yeah, we're a hyper-focused, very detailed podcast.
Shavasana? What's it called?
Cachaça.
Erin, we had a whole episode about it, apparently.
I know. I can't remember. Does it taste like grass? I don't remember.
It tastes almost like tequila. I don't know how to describe it exactly.
Is there a fruit that's more inconvenient to eat than pomegranate, do you think?
No.
Hold on. Maybe.
New vegan restaurant in my area. What?
Do you have like some alert set for this? How is that?
Yeah, I just got an alert from Google telling me about a new vegan restaurant in my area.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm not vegan.
Ben, it's a distilled spirit made from fermented sugarcane juice.
Oh.
It's a cane-based liquor, sort of like rum.
That's love
what
rum.
Ian says. Yeah. I think in this configuration it tastes like tequila to me, but I'm sure Ian would disagree because he hates tequila.
There's a whole segment that says difference with rum. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
So I'm going to try to blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm just going to read it. In the beginning of the 17th century, the producers of sugar from various European colonies in the Americas started to use the byproducts of sugar, molasses, and scummings as the raw material for the production of alcoholic spirits. The resulting beverage was known by several names. In the British colonies, it was named rum. The major difference between cachaça and rum is that rum is usually made from molasses, and cachaça is made from fresh sugarcane juice that is fermented and distilled. So I bet it has that funkier kind of funk.
A tang.
Yeah. Funkier funk.
I wonder if tequila is fermented first.
I bet.
Tequila is made from the blue agave plant, which I didn't know.
But yes, pomegranates are a pain in the ass. This pomegranate is actually the second one that we bought recently. The first one looked and felt fine from the outside, but was like rotted inside.
Nice.
So that's another fun thing. No, I do have to cut out because I got all kinds of mouth noises I'm doing right now.
Yeah, pomegranate's not a great podcast food.
No. It's just a garnish. You can't be eating that.
I love pomegranates, though.
Me too. Okay, can we talk about Mystery Oreos?
Sure.
Oh, sure. I haven't tried them.
Are they all... Is every package the
Yes. So, my dad, Ben's also dad, Uncle Brown, had posted in the family Slack the other day that everybody needs to get to their local grocery store because we have a mystery to solve. So I was like, okay, well, this is as good an excuse as any to buy a box of Oreos. Because he posted that with a picture of Mystery Oreos. So there's like a giveaway right now. If you guess the flavor correctly, you can win $50,000. But it's like a drawing. Like everybody, you can put in like one entry a week and it's like a sweepstakes.
Cool.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I know that I was like all down on different flavored Oreos and stuff a while back when Ben was talking about them, but they're really, really good. And I know what the flavor is.
What's the like, you know for sure, or you have a good guess that you're certain about?
I have a very strong guess, and it's not only based on the flavor, it's based on the clues they've been giving on the website.
Oh.
Yes.
Can you tell?
Is it a flavor they've already released, or is it a new one?
No, like the last time they did it, it was Fruity Pebbles. It was disgusting, and it never came back. I think I tried those too, but I've also just read that they were disgusting. But this one is, it's really good. I don't think I want to tell you guys what it is.
I'm probably not going to buy them, though.
Same.
What if I told you they were like really like cinnamony?
Is it horchata?
No.
Is it pumpkin spice?
No. I don't want to. I just want to blast it out to everybody. I want to give if you're not going to try them, I want to at least give the listeners a chance to maybe try them.
Okay. All right.
Email us and let us know what you think. They don't look like they would be cinnamony, which I think is partially on purpose because they didn't want the colors to give anything away. So that's a little bit weird because they look just like regular like Oreos, but they smell and taste very different.
Are they cinnamon flavored?
I mean, partially.
Are they Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, but you can't keep guessing because I want the listeners to guess. And you guys.
Okay, fine. All right, maybe we'll buy it.
So
email us at WayTooBroad@gmail.com if you have a guess. And we are not giving away $50,000 for that, but I will post up the website where you can enter for that.
What's that sound?
That is plane or something? Plane? I don't know.
Oh.
It's been going on for so long, like longer than a plane usually does. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's a plane. I can see it.
Do you live near the airport?
I guess I do, actually. And, hadn't thought about it, but I definitely do. Let me see how far away I am. Yeah, I'm like 6 miles from the airport.
Wow.
Oh, purgatory.
Amazing.
I have another upfront thing, but if other people want to go ahead of me, it's just a little thing.
I don't think I have any upfronts.
I have an upfront thing.
Ben, what you got?
I decided to escape purgatory at the end of the month to go to Federica and Lucas's wedding.
Hell yeah.
Because I wanted to have the first draft of my thesis done at the end of the month, and it's a very good motivation for me to actually get that done if, I want to enjoy that weekend. If I want to enjoy that weekend. Again. Sorry, I did that thing again. So I'm taking a red eye on a Friday night and then taking a 6 a.m. flight back the following Monday.
Nice.
We call that a blue eye.
Yeah. Do we? We should.
Don't we have you on record being like, never ever take a 6 a.m. flight?
We have me on record saying if you have to choose between a red eye and a 6 a.m. flight, choose the red eye. But
Choose both.
I did not have the choice.
If you have to choose between a red eye and a blue eye, get one of each. Freak your friends out.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm glad you're doing that, but I think that's good.
Me too. And I get to spend the Sunday in Boston with my love and my kitties.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a nice break to hold me over till Thanksgiving. At which point, when Thanksgiving comes, I'll only have a week left of grad school after that. So
yeah,
it's gonna be great. I got checkpoints. I got checkpoints.
Yeah, exactly.
Checkpoint wedding.
That's great.
Yeah.
Checkpoint wedding. Checkpoint turkey.
And Skippo. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. That's like a good way to get yourself through purgatory type times, I think. To like give yourself things to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that productive writing day of writing 20 pages of thesis immediately was the day after I decided to go and bought plane tickets. So
awesome.
Definitely immediately worked.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, he's here. He's here now.
He's pitching a fit. This is the event.
He's
that
making
you've
a
been waiting
scene.
for.
My cat's in here. He's making a scene. I said he would. What are you doing?
He's making a scene.
Come on.
And action.
He's just sitting there like he wants to come up and be on my lap, but then he walked away. So there you go. There's your scene. And scene.
Classic.
I want to give a shout out that she'll absolutely never hear to Jenna Marbles, who hit 20 million subscribers on YouTube today.
And then took a nap.
Yeah, to celebrate, she posted a video where she just took a nap for 20 minutes.
Amazing.
And most of it was like her dogs harassing her so she couldn't sleep. I watched the entire thing.
I have not watched it yet, but I want to.
Who has the most subscribers on YouTube?
PewDiePie.
Who?
PewDiePie. Have you not heard of PewDiePie?
No.
I feel like that sounds like I'm making that up if you've never heard of him.
Yep.
But he's real.
I've
he has
heard
like
of him.
over 100 million subscribers.
He's real.
Wow.
But he's like
Incredibly problematic.
I don't know anything. I feel like the only things I've ever heard about him are the controversies. So like it's like he's one of those people like I don't understand why so many people follow him, and I also do not understand like
the controversies.
What is the level of actual problematicness?
I think it's pretty high in terms of how much they've piled up. Because there's like some service online. I think it's called like Fiverr, where you can pay like people around the world $5 to do anything. And he, as part of a video he was making, paid like some people in Africa to hold up a really anti-Semitic sign and dance around because they thought that was funny. And that was like maybe 2 years ago or less. And then he also said, I think he like said the N-word either on stream or during a video while he was playing a game. One of the many examples of streamers or YouTubers, white streamers and YouTubers saying the N-word during intense gaming moments for some reason. And then...
come on with that.
Huh?
Come on with that. It's no excuse.
I know, it's ridiculous. Ninja did that too.
Yeah.
Ninja sucks for other reasons. But then he also recently, I think it might have been part of like a celebration of the 100 million subscribers thing, was going to donate a bunch of money to charity and was going to donate it to the Anti-Defamation League. But then like, I think a lot of his followers were like, well, wait, they like denounced you during all of your other controversies. And so he pulled his donation from them. So he had problems with anti-Semitic controversies, was going to donate to a anti-hate speech charity, and then pulled the donation because apparently they had been mean to him when he was being anti-Semitic.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Yeah.
Very
sounds
cool.
Really great.
Yeah, definitely very cool guy.
But Jenna Marbles is cool.
She's genuinely great.
Despite some problematic things in her history, which she has, like, handled.
Yeah, I mean, she's been when you've been on YouTube for as long as she has, you know, there's something.
Yeah, it's not. It's like,
but she's like one of the people who is. I don't really know if there's something particular referring to, but just in general, in terms of like her content and her personality, she's like obviously grown a lot as a human being, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I'm only referring to things that were like clearly not from any kind of place of like more from a place of just like youthful ignorance than anything else. Like when I go back and watch her old videos, even the most popular ones, I'm like, oh, some of those things are like somewhat problematic, but it's like also they're not any. They're like they you know, it was where the culture was at the time in some ways. And it wasn't like she was like punching down at people. She was just kind of like living up too well to her own stereotypes sometimes, I think. But she's just great. I just love her.
Cool. Any more upfronts?
Never.
I got none. Never.
Famously never.
Handsome Jack has left the room.
Okay. He can't cause any more scenes.
He can't cause any more scenes.
I feel like he's going to find a way.
He was trying to make a scene by scratching at the door, but producer Ian helped us out.
Nice.
Nice glass. Fancy.
Thank you.
I like your glass.
Is that one of those glasses that's like for a specific kind of alcohol?
I think it's for like sniffing.
It's a snifter.
Swishing
it's
and
not
sniffing.
for drinking, it's for sniffing only.
Isn't a snifter a thing? Did I make that up?
A snifter? Yeah, but it's not a glass. I think it's like
that's not
bigger.
A snifter. I think Molly's hammering something downstairs. Are you hammering?
Are you hammering your
It is
snifter?
A glass. It's a brandy glass.
Snifter.
You got it.
What's it look like? Oh,
like
I've
that.
seen those before. They're little baby wine glasses.
Little baby, little short, fat baby wine glasses.
Yeah. I Googled the word snifker.
What did you find?
Not really anything, but I like that word.
Snifker.
I also like the word snifter. Molly says yes. Is it too loud? What? Did you guys hear it?
No, I didn't.
No, I don't think so.
Riveting.
Is that good podcast?
Should we pop in?
Hannah, what's your obsession, girl?
Okay.
What's your obsession, girlfriend?
I have shown these to you guys once before. It's another sort of relaxing leisure type activity, but I want to dig deep and explain why I love it so much. Excellent. And why I sort of wish there were more options for them out in the world. I want to talk about what the greater like art book community seems to call magic painting books.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of these?
Just from you.
Yeah, from you.
Okay. So
I've shown you this before. Have you heard of it?
Is that a test?
So I think some people that I mentioned these to, they remember them from their childhoods. Like there used to be ones that were maybe like licensed characters like Disney or whatever. And you basically, it looks like a black and white line drawing. But then when you take a wet, I mean, anything wet really, but ideally a wet paintbrush to it,
pee on it. It also works.
If you peed on it, it would work, but it would get very like stinky and muddy. The colors, I mean,
that my pee is stinky
or muddy.
I'm not assuming your pee is muddy, but I'm just saying the colors would get muddy.
Yeah, like you're the expert.
I drink very well. My pee is basically water.
Look, okay, Hannah's the expert. We should just trust her on blind faith, even though the facts are kind of against her.
Exactly. So basically, these books are printed so that there are like watercolor inks that are printed on top of the like regular black print, and so when you put water to them, the the color sort of like spreads out and you can work with it. Sort of like a tiny version of when you have like a dry watercolor palette and you get it wet and then it like becomes spreadable. But on the page, what I really like about it is that you can get them done with as much or as little detail as you want, depending on how much water you use and how you use the brush. And you can get them done quicker than a coloring book, regardless of how, like, what type of thing you're using in a coloring book, especially if it's like one of the more detailed ones that are like pretty. Like, it takes forever to color them. And it also, like, my hand always gets tired. Like, I really don't like coloring very much because I feel like it's more exhausting for my hands than anything. And also, like, I get kind of perfectionisty about it. And if it's not like totally in the lines, which I frequently am not because my hand-eye coordination is terrible, it like really bugs me. But with these, like, if I go outside the lines or if I decide to do like a swishy thing, then it just like adds to the watercolory nature of like the art, you know? So, I'll post pictures of some of these. So, I found this one book from Usborne. No, Usborne was the other ones, wasn't it? What? See, I pulled all these out and now I don't know what the name of the book was, but I found this one book at Michael's. If you're looking for it, it's in with like all the, there's like usually a stand of books in like the second row or so of a Michael's store. It has like how to draw anime stuff and things like that. It also has some coloring books and it also has this book most of the time, at least the one local to me does. And it's like relaxation, just add water or something like that. And this book I found had some really, really nice, like, it has thick paper, so it doesn't like bleed through very much. It has, some nice colors in the stuff and like a nice variation of colors.
I like that.
Yeah, there's some really pretty ones. And so I went looking for more. And the publisher that makes this one doesn't make any other ones. They just make this one that I've already colored everything in for. So my only option was either to do that one over and over again or to try to find another publisher that did it. And I did find one that's done a few of them, but they're kind of more geared towards kids and people with Alzheimer's disease is anher thing I saw.
I did see that.
Really?
I was like, oh, yeah, they're sold through the Alzheimer's store.
Yeah. There's a lot of them on the Alzheimer's store. Well, because it's like such an easy crowd. Like the same reason that they're marketed to kids basically is because like they can't make too much of a mess and it gives you a sort of a sense of accomplishment without having to have any strong amount of hand-eye coordination. Like all the same reasons I just said that it appeals to me. It also appeals to kids and people with dementia. So
kids are basically people with dementia.
Yeah, they're just tiny
little idiots.
Somebody who's really just watching a television show is also kind of in that boat. Just like
yeah, it's true. So like this one that I have been working on recently, which I've been really enjoying. It's all unicorns, different unicorns, and the thing about it is the colors are a little bit less subtle, and that I think there are fewer of them overall. So they're being used in a kind of a slightly more garish way, and it's like there's a lot of them, but they're still just as satisfying for me to do. Also the paper is a lot thinner, so like if you look at the backs of all of these, it's like bled through.
Yeah.
So I have a couple more of these that I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all of them and I'm going to love them. But I just wish that they all looked more like this one. And I wish there were more that were like a thicker paper, like a watercolor paper, which is almost what this is, like just kind of like a nicer end product. Like even these, they all have these like slogans on them. I create a happy life for myself. I pursue happiness every day. Every morning I choose to be happy. I am the secret to my own success. And it's like, I welcome the abundance in my life. Like, it's a lot.
They're laying it on real thick, as thick as the paper.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to just like have some
like a normal.
Yeah, just like a nice art that I can then like use water to color. That would be really nice.
I have a cue. Yeah. Do you have to like so you're using a wet paintbrush? Yeah. So like for the unicorn one, there's like unicorns, there's like waves. Mm-hmm. What stops you from just like taking your wet brush and smearing it across the page? Would it come out, or do you really have to stay in the lines because it activates some paint, and so you could smudge that paint everywhere and it would look like poo poo? Or, like, is it pretty much going to stay in the area that it's in?
Yeah,
Does that question
I
make
had the
sense?
same cue when you were talking about this.
So, you can... If you did that, which I've done before, I'm just looking for... I'm sure all these noises are great. All these paper rustling noises.
People like that.
Yeah.
Makes you sound official. Let me look through my documents here.
If you did that, you would get still some areas of definition and some areas that were more like muddy.
So it does get muddy.
Yeah.
So you can pull the colors around a little bit.
Yeah, like I do that sometimes in this one. I did that to kind of create like a sky effect. Okay, like here's one. It's like a rainbow ocean with sun, and then these birds had color in them too that are flying in the sky. Mm. So I got the brush very wet and I swished it across very quickly and was able to kind of create these colors going across the sky rather than them being like concentrated on the
Does the paint
birds.
Get on the brush too?
It does a little bit. So you have to kind of rinse it in between. Mm. You know, it's like paint.
Watercolor.
It's not magic. It's not actual magic.
Well, it shouldn't call itself that then.
Yeah, sounds like it has a bad name.
Yeah.
But I like that about it because like if you want to get really deep into it and be very exact, like that can be really fun and relaxing too. Yeah. Like you can really like feel accomplished about what you just did, or you can just like fucking do it, get it done, and it's like still pretty satisfying, you know? So like I also feel like the more I do them, the better I am at like coloring them properly. Like I'm actually learning some things that actually in between when I got this book, the first one, and when I received the second set, I was really jonesing for that same kind of feeling. So I actually bought a watercolor like tutorial, like how to actually do watercolors. And I found that I actually wasn't that bad at it. Like I wasn't actually. I have that book in here too.
You're like pretty textbook.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
She's a natural. She's leaving. She's gonna get her blanket stuck again.
And she's gonna freak out and get mad at us that we're not helping, even though we're not even there.
She's gonna get her blanket stuck. She's gonna flip out again.
Okay, so this book is like a tutorial, like serious watercolor.
Oh, I think I've seen this before.
Yeah, I sent some pictures to family text. It's called Watercolor with Me in the Forest by Dana Fox. And
who is a fox?
She's Fox. And it's got like tutorials with little like pencil sketches to help you with the shapes. So here's an example. Here's her caterpillar that she gave as the example.
Wow.
And there's mine.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you're pretty good at watercolors, Hannah.
Yeah, and I think some of that was obviously based on the tutorials in this book, but then some of it, I think I did learn a little bit about how watercolors behave and how to, like, deal with how wet you want your brush to be or not from... I think it's a good, like, gateway drug to watercolors in general. Mm-hmm. But I did not find this as relaxing because I was just much more stressed I was going to fuck it up.
Yeah. It seems like your magic, quote unquote, is the perfect blend of like pretty pictures, but also like stress free.
Yeah.
Do they still teach that weed is a gateway drug in schools?
I don't know.
Just thinking about that.
I mean, people definitely still believe it, so probably.
Well, I do cocaine now because I did weed once, so.
Yeah, so that's it. I guess, like, it's more, maybe it's watercolors overall, but especially magic painting books. I want more of them.
That sounds
really
like a great thing
though, so.
for Thanksgiving. I feel like we should get some for Thanksgiving and have them out.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be popular, fun, crafty thing.
That would be popular fun. Yeah. Okay. Who's
Magic paint, popular fun. Okay. Y'all, my obsession's gonna be highly controversial.
Ooh.
I think y'all are not gonna like it one little bit. But what? I come before you tonight, and all I have is my truth.
Okay.
And my truth is that my obsession, and I'm truly obsessed, is Bon Appetit's Gourmet Makes.
I had a feeling.
I can't do anything else but watch.
This has to be some kind of record for, like, most consecutive weeks of obsessions from the same source of content.
I know. I just love it. And I think it's all, I think Gourmet Makes for me is all the richer for, like, at first I wasn't super interested in watching it because I was really into their, like, cooking videos. Like, not that Gourmet Makes is not a cooking video. I would never say that about it. But, like, they're, like, dinner, you know, savory, you know, here's how to make a recipe, videos. And kind of, like, being, not over those, but certainly, you know, my obsession has run its course, and now I'm a normal amount, like, kind of being like, oh, maybe I'll watch it, maybe not, you know? And listening to the podcast, and just, like, I have the magazine now. I have Carla Lawley's Music's cookbook from the library. So I've been, like, saturated with these people, and so now in Gourmet Makes, all of these people who I love are just, like, in this really beautiful supporting role, and are just, like, so good and pure. And I just love it. I listened today to Hannah's original, Hannah originally talks about Bon Appetit's Gourmet Makes in episode 43, so it was a long time ago.
It was.
Tenacious Persevering, which is kind of an important episode, because that's where I first bring B. Steadwell as well.
Oh, wow.
So that was, like, it was a big episode.
I thought that Hannah talked about It's Alive and I talked about Gourmet Makes. I don't know why I had that
Hannah
backwards.
talked about Gourmet Makes.
Did she also talk about It's Alive? Because I thought that came out first.
She mentions it in this, but doesn't really talk too much about it.
Oh.
You know where you can go to find out this information, Ben. It's the WayTooBroad topic index. So I re-listened to Hannah's segment today just to make sure that I'm not going to talk a huge amount about it, but I also wanted to make sure I wasn't bringing up anything Hannah brought up as if for the first time. Kind of wanting to throw different. So I think there were a lot less of them. I mean, this was in July of 2018, so a lot more have come out. They're just all just so wonderful. And so if you've never heard of it, I don't know where you've been. If this is, like, happens to be your first episode, Bon Appetit makes these Gourmet Makes video. The lady who makes it is Claire. What's her last name?
Saffitz.
Half sour Saffitz.
Claire Saffitz. And she's just, like, amazing and talented and is, like, amazingly, like, has this amazing perseverance that I cannot fathom. Like, most of the stuff that she's doing, I'm like, would be so fucking over it. But she's just, like, patient and smart and has this wonderful rapport with all of her colleagues. All of her colleagues are, like, I also love, like, watching these very serious chefs who I've watched, like, all of their, like, very serious, like, here's how you know, flambe blé a bagazzi, you know? like all of these, like, fancy things, you know? Like, very seriously, like, nibble on, like, an M&M.
Wow, just from your mannerisms, I can tell you're imitating Chris Morocco.
I am. I'm imitating Chris Morocco. Like,
do the deep sniff first, like.
Yeah, just like these, like, chefs who, like, are very, like, serious in their craft, like taking this project of hers, like, so seriously, and just, like, doing their absolute utmost to, like, make sure that she, like, makes the perfect Skittle, you know? It's just, like, I haven't watched the Skittle episode, but, like, it's like, so beautiful. And I just fucking love it. Can't get enough of it. And today I watched like the Pringles episode, and Molly was like, happened to be at the store while I was watching it, and I was like, get me some Pringles. Like, I think the only bad part about it is it's putting me in the mood for like all these terrible junk foods that like make me feel gross when I eat them, but I like have to have it. So
Yeah. I have the same thing every time a new one comes out. Except, did you watch the Sour Patch Kids ones?
I'm
have
in the
not
middle
watched
of
it
it. Yeah.
It doesn't, I will never crave Sour Patch Kids or Skittles. No thank you.
I don't like Skittles, but I do. This is making me want a Sour Patch Kids. I might have one. I might have a little pack, like a Halloween pack in the pantry that I'll have to read. So I don't have too much to say other than that. Check out episode 43 for Hannah's great segment about it. It took me over a year to get to them, but here we are. And that's my truth. And I have nothing else other than, like, it's so good. It's just
It's so great.
Well, that is great. I'm very glad. I'm not mad at all. Unfortunately, you do have to go to jail because for breaking the rules of the podcast.
Podcast law. We've all broken now. All of us.
We're all going to podcast
What
jail.
was Ben's repeat? Ben, you repeated one of ours.
I was gonna. I'm not sure I have.
I thought you did. You definitely did, and it was recently.
Because he steals from Kylie, so he's got double the obsessions.
You know, that does sound familiar that I did that recently, but I really don't remember.
Did you do it for yourself? Did you do 2 things in a row?
Maybe. I don't know.
But I'm very glad. Welcome to the family, Erin.
Thank you.
Oh, I can organize the topic index chronologically now.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Delicious. I love it. What's your favorite one so far, Erin?
Well, let me tell you which ones I've seen.
Okay.
I just did Oreos, which is great. I started with Hot Pockets, which was like legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
She just killed it. She just killed it on Hot Pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've done Oreos. I've done ramen, Pringles, Reese's. Those looked fucking delicious. Oh, Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero Rocher.
New Rochelle balls.
New Rochelle balls. M&M's, Hot Pockets. So I mean, how can you pick a favorite? They're all so good.
I don't know what my favorite is.
I don't either. It was an unfair question. I just thought maybe because you'd watched them all so recently. But I think when I first brought it, there were maybe 3 episodes.
I think there were like 3 or 4 that
I remember
you
really wanting to eat the Snickers she made. That's partially just because I really like Snickers.
I feel like so relieved. I feel so gratified and relieved that Erin has watched all these now.
Okay, I have an update on this repeat thing.
Yeah.
So as recently as episode 97, Erin repeated one of my obsessions, which was Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. From 2 weeks earlier.
It was me.
Or no, sorry, from the week earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
Let the record show.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it was. So I repeated. I'm just a repeater. I'm just a copycat.
Well, I mean, this was bound to happen at some point, the way this podcast works, right?
Yeah.
Right. You can't both have your own obsession and, like, be catching up on your co-host's obsessions, and it's just... There's not enough time.
And that week in particular was the prime example where I talked about it one week and then you immediately listened to a bunch of it and brought it the next week. So you did that homework right away and got obsessed also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like this one I had like a healthy break.
Yeah.
In between. So I feel like you were just
waiting for more. You like people who wait for the whole season to come out so you can binge it. You waited for more episodes to come out so you can have more to watch.
And I feel like it deserves a refresh mention on this podcast, though we have mentioned it several times.
Yeah, I agree. It's great.
It deserves it. It's a delight. Thank you for bringing it into my life.
Yes, and thanks to Claire for bringing it into all of our lives and the Bon Appetit crew. And I have to thank, I know it was not Erin's entree into that world, but it was mine. Entree, no pun intended. So I have to thank Gourmet Makes for the fact that I care about anything else on Bon Appetit's YouTube channel. And now I care about nearly everything else on Bon Appetit's YouTube channel. So, it bears repeating because it's only become a bigger force in our society. And also everyone watches it now. People will just talk about Claire and Brad and everyone knows what they're talking about, I feel like.
Yeah. It's
instantly.
amazing.
Yeah.
And Hannah shared this funny video of this guy who's like, I would die for Claire from Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. And he just goes on this really long rant about Claire from Bon Appetit Test Kitchen.
I'm going to name my first child Claire from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. First name Claire. The second name from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen.
I'm going to start describing things that are good as Claire from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. How was your day? It was not Claire from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen.
I do really like the name
and
Claire.
I just get it. It's nice. That's Molly's sister's name. That's my sister-in-law's name.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I knew that.
From the Bon Appetit
As a matter of
Test
fact.
Kitchen.
But she's not Claire from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. She is good, but she's not the Claire from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen.
CFTBAT.
Okay.
I'll link that video.
TBA TK. Anyway.
That's Mike's Mike on YouTube who did that. His intro is also very good. I don't know if he does it on that one, but he goes, "Hi, welcome to Mike's Mike. I'm Mike," or my name's Mike, or something like that. I like him. He's an Australian dude who seems fun.
Like Australians.
Yeah, he seems like a chill guy.
Cool.
That's all I have.
Love it. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thanks. Thank you.
Ben.
It's me. Okay, so I had two things that I was thinking about talking about. One of them is a book that I just bought. I think I'm going to talk about it next week because I haven't had time to read it yet because it came out yesterday and I got it yesterday night. But I'll just tease that for next week. I didn't really have anything else I was obsessed with because I've been so busy lately. So the only thing I can think of is the recent kind of two parallel controversies that have been happening related to China in two of my areas of interest, which are in the NBA and in esports, specifically with Blizzard. Have either of you heard of either of these things?
No.
Yes. One of them.
Which one?
Esports.
So they both are related to the Hong Kong protests, which for anyone that doesn't know, currently there are massive protests going on in Hong Kong as they're trying to fight for democracy and being, basically freed from China, which China doesn't like. And so the NBA thing happened first, which was the NBA does a lot of stuff in China and with China. There's a large audience, the NBA is popular in China, and basketball in general is pretty popular in China. Partially it grew really popular around the time Yao Ming was playing. But the NBA has training camps and they do preseason games with Chinese basketball teams, which is all happening right now because the season starts in a few weeks. And the general manager of the Houston Rockets tweeted, I don't remember the exact tweet, but it was something along the lines of it was a pro Hong Kong protest tweet where it's basically saying fight for freedom, whatever. And almost immediately China was super pissed. The owner of the Rockets tweeted out that the GM didn't speak for the organization, and then the NBA released a statement that was along the lines of this GM doesn't speak for our views on China and everything. All of it basically kowtowing to the authoritarian regime in China.
Wow.
To appease them so that they could keep doing business in China. Which all really sucked and is still being that controversy is like still playing out, like because the NBA commissioner then released a statement a couple days later that said like we're not going to let China regulate the free speech of our players or owners or anything. Or actually, they don't use the word owners anymore, which is a good thing. Players or staff or anything, which is like okay, but then you also release a statement specifically like trying to appease China, so it was like weird. And China, like Chinese businesses are pulling out like a bunch of sponsorships from the NBA. They're refusing. The state TV is refusing to air a lot of the preseason games in China. They're like a whole bunch of shit is happening there. And then nearly at the same time, like a couple days later, there was a big Hearthstone tournament this weekend, and one of the winners was this guy named Blitzchung, who is from Hong Kong also. And during his post-game interview, he put on like a gas mask and a face mask thing because of the bans. They're trying to ban the protesters from wearing face masks in China, in the Hong Kong protests, so that they can use facial recognition technology and figure out who's protesting, I believe is the reason.
Makes sense.
Because we live in a dystopia, apparently. And so he wore like a gas mask, and also I think he said like free Hong Kong, the revolution of our generation during the interview. And Blizzard's response was to ban him from competitive Hearthstone for a year, retroactively take away all of the $10,000 of prize money he had earned this year so far.
What?
And also to fire the two casters who interviewed him during that interview, who did not know that he was going to do that, and did not like actively encourage it either. And even if they did, they shouldn't be fired for it. Yeah, it's insane. And so this has sparked a huge backlash in the American gaming community. A lot of people are like canceling their subscriptions to World of Warcraft, deleting their Blizzard accounts in general, boycotting. There's a Blizzard boycott that's going on the Blizzard campus. They have like a statue of an orc from World of Warcraft like in the middle of the campus, and it has like their core company values, whatever, written around it. And like one of them is, there's like one that's like hear everybody's voice, and another that's like think globally or something. And some of the employees at Blizzard like covered those up with paper so that they weren't, just in like in a protest as well.
Don't you live like down the street from there?
I did. I don't really anymore, but I live like 15 minutes away.
He's closer to the airport now, Hannah.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to me that I saw a really interesting kind of perspective on this, is like part of the idea of opening up economic relations with China was that we could kind of use economic influence to try and make them sort of less authoritarian and more open to free speech and human rights. But both of these controversies happening at the same time have kind of made it seem possible that the reverse is happening, where because of our economic dependencies on China, where like we depend on, because there's so many fucking people, and gaming is so popular in China that like, and basketball is so popular in China that these companies end up like limiting the free speech of their players and people in their leagues because of China. So that they end up having a much farther reach than just China. Also, an interesting thing about all of this is, have either of you heard of the company Tencent before?
It's like 10 cent, but one word, right?
Yeah. They're a massive Chinese conglomerate that over the past few years has basically just been picking up percentage ownerships of like more and more gaming companies. So I think like technically they're the largest gaming company in the world because they own Riot Games, who makes League of Legends entirely. They own about 5% of Blizzard. They own 40% of Epic Games, who makes Fortnite. They own like a significant percentage of many, many companies. And they're a Chinese company that obviously has links to the government, the regime in China, because every company in China does. So that's just like kind of been another example of the economic reach that China has and the danger it presents for free speech around the world.
Now, the competition that guy was in, did you say that was like regional, or I missed, like, I know he's from Hong Kong, but where was he competing?
It was a region. So it was this thing. I don't know all the details about it because I haven't followed competitive Hearthstone for a while, but I know it's a thing called the Grandmaster Tournament or something. And I believe it has like a structure where there are regional events, and then the winners of all the regional events go to a international event.
Okay.
And that specific event was at like the Southeast Asian regional version of it. And I think he won, which is why he had that post-game interview. It was at least he won the game that he was being interviewed after. And actually, one of the Brian Kibler, who's a Hearthstone streamer and also a caster for a lot of Blizzard events, released a statement saying that for the time being he was not gonna cast at any future Blizzard events until this was resolved, because he thinks that the punishment was his statement was kind of iffy to me, because he said that he felt that Blizzard was justified in punishing someone for speaking out about politics on their stream because they have like specific policies against that or something, which I think is dumb. But then he also said that he thought the punishment was obviously way too harsh, and as a result of that, he was not going to participate in any future Grandmaster events, which is ultimately a good outcome. But yeah, so Blizzard hasn't really said much. That's the other thing, is they like on their news page or whatever, they released the announcement about Blitzchung. Comments were disabled on that post, which was the first time they'd ever done that on any sort of announcement. And then from what I've heard, they have not released anything else. But they have to be hemorrhaging users. They're like, the Blizzard subreddit was taken over, and might still be, I haven't looked at it, by shit posters posting that Xi Jinping was the new CEO of Blizzard and like redoing their logo with a flag of China. Like, people are not happy, myself included.
Wow.
So hopefully they do something about that. Yeah. So those are the kind of the two. I thought it was so interesting they happened like nearly at the same time. I mean, I guess it makes sense because the stuff in Hong Kong is going on. But yeah, kind of scary. Both of them, honestly.
This article I'm looking at doesn't say anything about political speech. It says the statement allegedly violated rules forbidding players from saying something that offends a portion or group of the public or otherwise damages Blizzard's image.
Yes, exactly.
Which is bullshit on both accounts.
Yeah. I think, are you reading an article, or are you reading Brian Kibler's statement? Or whatever.
I'm reading an article.
Okay. Because that's what Brian Kibler mentioned in his statement too. And so his whole point, I think, was just that because they have that rule already set, it's within their rights to punish someone for breaking that rule if they think that they broke it. Which, like, sure is technically true, but it's a dumb fucking rule, especially for something like this, where, like, he had a platform and he chose to use it to speak up for his people and for his country, which I think is commendable. Like I said, ultimately the result of that statement was saying that he was going to be boycotting future Blizzard events, which is good.
It would be kind of like if oh God, what's his name? If Colin Kaepernick taking a knee resulted in him being like, I mean, he did kind of get like not picked up by another team.
Yeah, he's like still blackballed.
Yeah, but he wasn't like, didn't have all his money taken away and was not immediately like kicked off the sport, you know?
He wasn't like officially banned for a year. He was shadow banned instead.
Shadow banned. Right. But Yeah.
It's like that kind of perspective on like it's within their rights because they wrote the rule is similar to me. It's like reminiscent to me of the whole Ellen DeGeneres thing that's been happening.
I missed that. I've been seeing tweets about it, but I don't know what happened.
There was a picture of her at a game at a football game, sitting next to and laughing with George W. Bush, and she then defended it on her show, saying that her philosophy is to be kind to everyone, even if you disagree with them, which is a terrible take because George W. Bush tried to put an amendment into the Constitution not allowing gay marriage. And also started the Iraq War, and he's a shitty guy, and it's okay to not be kind to someone when they believe that you and your people shouldn't exist. Just in the same way that it's okay to offend someone on a Blizzard stream when you're speaking up for the freedom of your own country. There are.
I'm a little on the fence about the Ellen thing, though. Like, I think she's getting a lot of shit for it. And I think that just because she is choosing to be kind, which is, like, obviously not something that she has to be or not something that, like, I don't think she's saying that everybody needs to be kind. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction that, like, she's getting all sorts of shit for, like, he's like a terrible person. Like, why isn't he getting more shit for it? Like, it just seems a little weird. It seems like a little weird for me, and I can't quite put my finger on like why. Like, I don't really feel personally offended by it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's saying that he's a good person. I don't think she's like, hey, everybody like vote for George W. Bush. She like is literally just like spending time with him, which is weird, but also like her prerogative. And also like Sarah Marshall would tell you like no one's a terrible human being and everybody deserves, general human kindness. So I'm a little like weirded out by,
you can
how,
like, she said in her statement that she said that like she is friends with George W. Bush.
Yeah.
She did like not just that they happened to be at a football game together and they were spending time together. Like, she said explicitly, I am friends with George W. Bush. Which to me, I don't know, that feels like that's a choice that she has. Like, I guess, yes, it's her prerogative, but also like, I don't know, it seems out of touch to me
Yeah. It's disappointing.
It's disappointing at the very least.
It's disappointing. I'm not quite certain it's like a, Ellen DeGeneres is canceled level.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I think part of what we're there, these are extremely complicated times. Like, everything we've been talking about is like obviously nothing we're going to get to the bottom of tonight. But like, one thing I listened to a while ago, I put it up in the Slack so you guys can listen when you have a chance, and I'll link to it. There's an episode of Invisibilia that is really interesting that kind of touches on related topics. It's called The End of Empathy. It's season 5, episode 6. And it's basically like, to give a very short version of it, or to give kind of an overview, the women who run Invisibilia are obviously, they're probably like early 40s. I'm not like 100% sure, but they're like not quite millennial age or younger. And then they had an intern or someone applying to be an intern or applying for a job who it was like our age or younger, who basically sort of, they ended up hiring her, I believe, but in her, like, one thing you have to do is like edit an episode, like a test episode or whatever. So they'll give you like an outline of the story, and then you have to like create the episode. And when she did that, she like really kind of came at them in terms of like sort of the way that they react or treat people who she feels like don't really deserve. Basically, it's about like how they were raised in their generation to feel like empathy was like very important in all situations and with all people, and that maybe some people coming up in our generation or a little bit younger like don't have that same feeling of like it's important that you have to like try to understand every single person, no matter how much you disagree with them. And there's like this interesting sort of like, but it's an interesting like sort of generational divide that I feel like is coming to the surface almost in this conversation. Erin and I are a little bit older than you, Ben. And like, I don't think I believe it. I don't believe it either, but I can understand those impulses of like wanting to and I think there's like a harder edge that's maybe formed by being like growing up more like longer in the culture that we're in currently. That like maybe I don't know what it is exactly, but it's a really interesting episode and they kind of explore some of it. They don't really come to a conclusion. I don't know if there is a conclusion to come to. It's just like it's going to be like just probably something that's an agree to disagree with our parents for the rest of our lives, you know. But it's interesting.
That's interesting. And, you know, I'm obviously still processing the Ellen thing, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. Like, and this is actually, like, helping. I think what I feel like it's disappointing. I feel like it's disappointing that she's using her platform to be like, we're friends. Like, maybe ignoring it would have been better. You know, like, I think it's disappointing in those ways because of, like, the actions that he's done, right? If we take away, like, assigning a moral value to him as a person, like, his actions have been shitty.
Exactly.
And it's really disappointing that she's using her platform for that. However, like, I don't, you know, like, yeah, like, I don't think that it's not, like, a hard line. Like, she's not, you know, punching down, or she's not like doing something shitty to another person to, you know, it is on that, like Hannah was saying, on that moral gray line of like, how do we, you know, is she going out of her way to show empathy in kind of a disappointing way? And we're like criminalizing, or not criminalizing, but we're like, you know, crucifying her for that. That seems a little weird when it's kind of on that like gray spectrum.
Well, and then along those same lines, like obviously you have to take her actions into account, and she's done more to like improve the visibility and lives of queer people than one picture with George Bush can ever take away. So it's like that by that argument, it's totally no reason to like rule Ellen out. However, I will say honestly, the original picture didn't actually bother me that much. I'm more bothered by her statement afterwards, where she reduced like the reasons to dislike George W. Bush to disagreeing with beliefs that he holds, rather than like him pushing an agenda as president that disagreed with the existence of LGBT people and their marriages. Yeah. You know, like that's what really irked me a lot lot it.
And literal war crimes.
Yeah, literal war crimes on top of that.
on top of everything else.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Ellen, like, is obviously, she's done a lot for a lot of people.
And, it's also,
she's definitely, I think, she's super fucking rich now, and definitely a little, that's coming from a place of privilege to be able to have the option to just get along with a very powerful person that you happen to disagree with.
Yeah, you know? Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she really recognized that or grappled with it at all.
I didn't see her response. I've only seen response tweets to her response. It sounds like it was shitty, or at least not as well considered as it should have been. But it's interesting, you know, because then the question becomes, and this is kind of explored in that episode of Invisibilia, is like, how do we, as like people who believe whatever you believe, how do you reach or change the minds of people who don't believe that if you're not like trying to form a relationship with them? Or like a lot of people, when gay people, LGBTQ people overall, like started to become more visible in the culture, that's part of the reason that became such a cultural tidal wave, was because everybody realized how many people they knew who were LGBTQ, and they just didn't realize because they weren't comfortable with saying it and stuff like that. And like, you know, but then at that point, like once it's been made known, and the person who has the, you know, something that they felt they had to hide, that they've come out to say, or that they've shared the belief, and they've done the best they can to, like, I think I'm kind of like sharing my own beliefs on this now. Like once the effort's been made, it can't just be a one-way street for the rest of the relationship, you know? Like, How do we know? We don't know for a fact that George W. Bush's positions haven't softened on LGBTQ issues because of his relationship with Ellen. We don't know that. Like, them, and I'm not saying that to defend him, because I haven't even seen enough of this to form an opinion. So, like I said, it sounds like it was shittily done from what you guys are saying. But, like, in general, like, I would say that it's the onus has to be then on him to, like, prove or through his actions be, like, better and more aware. It's kind of like the way we talk about, like, we can't help the fact that we have certain privileges as white people, but once we know that we have those privileges, then it's up to us to learn how to use them to help other people. It's not up to those people to tell us what they need, you know? Right. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know exactly how that relates, but it feels like it does to me.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah. Let's all listen to Invisibilia. Eat some Mystery Oreos, and we'll come back and regroup on it next week. See what we all believe.
Sounds perfect.
About empathy and Oreos. Empathy and Oreo flavors. Okay, what would you call this obsession?
Is it the mystery flavor? Is it empathy?
Empathy is very
That's where it all went. It's in the Oreos.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a very thought-provoking obsession, Ben.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good one, Ben.
Yeah. Let's do homework.
Hannah, what's your homework?
Okay. If you want to try the magic painting books, as I said, I forgot the name of the first publisher with the good book, but they're at Michael's, and it's called, like, Just Add Water. It's with the coloring books. If you want to order some online, Usborne Books has a bunch of them. They're, like, a little more childish in the illustrations, but still very relaxing, in my opinion. And also try watercolor in general. This Dana Fox Watercolor With Me book is very well written. The paper is high quality, and it's really pretty illustrations. I think it's a fun, nice, like, relatively easy pastime. I think it's pretty forgiving in terms of hand-eye coordination, which is important for me. My Twitter is Hanthropology. That's also my Instagram, and I have another podcast called So Dreamy, where we talk about dreams, and we collect dreams, and you can send them to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Erin, what's your homework?
Hello. My homework is to watch Bon Appetit Gourmet Makes. Also, check out, what did I say, episode 43? Hold on. Hold the flip on. Is that what I said?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even know. You're just saying yes.
42, I think.
Episode 43.
Fuck.
You don't know. Fuck. Episode 43, just Tenacious Persevering, where Hannah first talks about Gourmet Makes, and I first talk about...
And I probably talk about Naruto based on that title.
B. Steadwell. Yeah. Wait, what? No, you talk about shonen anime.
Oh, in general?
Yeah.
Well, I for sure mentioned Naruto then.
You definitely do. You def do.
Def do.
Def do.
So, I would also say my homework is get a flu shot. Okay. I don't have any social media I want to share with you. Thank you.
I got a flu shot. I already did your homework.
Thanks. Maybe my arm hurt. It made my arm really owie.
I haven't had a flu shot in a dog's age.
Ben Brown, get a flu shot. They're free. You can walk in. You literally walk into a CVS and they'll give you a flu shot for
They're
free.
free?
Yeah.
Molly got a free flu shot today at CVS.
Wow.
I got one in my doctor's office.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But it was still free. Ben, what's your homework?
My homework is, I guess, to learn about the protests in Hong Kong. Read up on... my homework would be to read up and understand why China is so shitty. When we talk about why China is bad. Obviously the government, not the people in general. And then also to think about how crazy the world is.
Think about how crazy.
Just think about it. Just process it. My Twitter is Nicely Proofed Ben. My Twitch is Disco Greg, coming back soon, TM.
Damn. If you want to call us to talk about how crazy the world is, you can do that. We have a voicemail at 774-326-0420.
Blaze it, but don't type the numbers that spell blaze it.
Just blaze it
that's
while
just
you...
part
just
of
blaze
it. That's just part of it, because 420 is the weed number.
Just blaze it.
Perfect. We have a Twitter, TooBroadPod. We have an Instagram at WayTooBroad. You can email us your guess on the Oreo flavor or your thoughts on world events at WayTooBroad
or your social security number.
Or whatever you want. Just
Blaze
anything
it.
but spam. You can also find out all of those social links and all the information about everything basically in the world at this point at WayTooBroad.com
World.
for anything you want. EarnBen.com for anything you need. And yeah, if you had a fun this week, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Tell us what you think about the show, as long as it's good.
As long as you like it.
As long as you like it. Otherwise, leave us alone. Who are we hurting? What are we hurting being here?
Leave us a review or leave us alone.
TM, the podcast candle is now extinguished.
We'll be back
night.
soon, TM.
Bye.
Sounds like a good advantage.
Advantage?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it is rewarded engagement. That's what it says.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll forward it to you.
Yeah.
That's a phrase that has meaning.
Just reply to that email with Ben's email address. Just send that guy Ben's email address.